All right, let's predict for NFL season. We're gonna do team by team here. Starting with AFC West. I'm at NFC West. In 49ers, I have them losing to LA. I actually have them losing to the Dolphins. I have them beating the Cardinals, losing to the Broncos, losing to the Seahawks. I have them beating Washington, losing to the 49ers, losing to Vegas. Beating the Dallas 49ers, kind of on Dallas. Beating the Vikings. I have them split with Seahawks. Losing to the Giants, losing to LA, beating the Chargers. I'm gonna have them lose to the Chiefs, lose to Philadelphia, and beat Arizona. I have a 49ers going 8-9. I'll have the 49ers beat the Chiefs 8-9. And then you got LA, Super Bowl favorites, beat the Giants, beat the Broncos, beat Philadelphia, beat Buffalo, beat the Cardinals, beat Vegas, beat the Chargers, beat Washington, beat the Cardinals again, beat the Packers, beat the Chiefs. But you look here, you got the 49ers, you got Dallas, you got Seattle. I have Dallas be a trap game, and I have Dallas winning it, unfortunately. And then I have them beating the Seahawks, beating the Bucks, and losing to the Seahawks. 15-2 for the Seahawks for LA. Now going to the Seahawks. I have them beating winning the Super Bowl rematch here in Week 1, beating the Cardinals. I actually have them losing to Washington, but beating the Chargers. I have them losing. I have them beating the Broncos. Beating the Chiefs, losing to the Bears, beating the Cardinals, beating Vegas, beating Dallas, beating the Giants, beating Philadelphia, and beating Carolina. 13-4 for Seattle. Still a great record. And then Arizona, I have them losing to the Chargers, losing to the Giants, losing to the Lions, losing to the Broncos, losing to the Cowboys, losing to the Chiefs, losing to Washington, losing to Philadelphia, tying with the Jets, losing to the Saints, and losing to Vegas. Going 0-16-1. Now let's go to the AFC West. Let's start with the Chiefs this time. I have them starting 0-2. Then you would beat the Dolphins. You would beat Vegas here. You would beat the Chargers coming off your bye. You're going to get swept by the Broncos. You're going to beat the Jets. You're going to lose to the Falcons. There we go. You're going to lose to Buffalo. You're going to beat Cincinnati. You're going to beat the Patriots. You're going to split with the Chargers in Vegas. Going 8-9. That just won't be enough to make the playoffs. And I don't have the Chargers making the playoffs either. As I have a schedule, I think the schedule is a bit too hard. And I don't think Justin Herbert can beat some of these teams, as I think he's overhyped by a lot, actually. 6-11 for the Chargers. That's an unpopular opinion, but it's where I have them at. Vegas is going to lose to the Dolphins. We're going to lose to the Saints. We're going to beat the Patriots, but lose to the Bills. I have them losing to the Jets. I have them losing to the Broncos, losing to the Browns, losing to the Broncos, losing to the Titans. 4-13 for Vegas. Let's jump over to the NFC South. Falcons, they have some talent. I just don't think their quarterback is good. Any of their quarterbacks. Because I have them having a bad start here. You finally get a win, another win. I will have you beat the Bucks here. I'll have you beat the Saints here. And I'll have you lose to Carolina. 5-12 for the Falcons. I just don't believe in Michael Penix if he ever starts. I don't believe in Tua. The Saints, I do believe in more than the Falcons. Where's this? France. Cool. Actually, I have them losing to the Browns, though. Beat the Bengals. Beat the Packers. I have you split them with Carolina. Same with the Bucks, actually. 8-9 for the Saints. Is that enough to win the division of the AFC South? It might be. And now the Bucks. I have you beating the Bengals. I don't think the Bengals are going to be as good as a lot of people think, to be completely honest. Have you beaten the Browns? I do have you losing to the Vikings. Well, Kyler Murray is going to be the starter. I have you. This is a tough one. I'm going to have you lose to the Packers and the Cowboys. And the Steelers. And Carolina. And the Bears. And the Lions. So let's see. You go on a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 game losing streak. You get another win. Can you go on a 3-game winning streak? You can. Can you go on a 4-game winning streak? You can. But the winning streak ends there. 7-10 for the Bucks. If we're going to win any of these 8 games, it's going to be the Cowboys or the Steelers, in my opinion. Maybe both. Carolina, I have them losing to the Bears. I haven't beaten the Browns. I actually haven't beaten the Lions. They're losing to Philadelphia, coming off your bye. Beat the Packers. Lose to the Broncos. Lose to Baltimore. Beat the Vikings. Lose to the Bengals. Beat the Steelers. 9-8 for Carolina. Going to the AFC South. Colts, I actually have them being an underhyped team. I actually have them starting 1-0 against Baltimore. I have them beating the Texans here, starting 3-0. Start 4-0. I do believe in Washington if Jaden Daniels can stay healthy, though. Start 5-0. Start 6-0. Stan Wall just went to Carolina, but that's a change on prediction. Start 7-0. Start 8-0. Start 8-1, but 9-2. I'm at 9-1, 9-2, 9-3, 9-4. Then you got 9-5. Then you got 9-6. Then you got 10-6, but you got 10-7 with Jags. Look, this is a good start for the Colts, starting 8-0. Moving on to the Texans, who do have a generational defense, but CJ Stroud's kind of not a good quarterback. I haven't beaten Buffalo, though. I haven't beaten Cincinnati. I haven't winning the battle of Texas. I haven't beaten the Titans, beaten the Jags, beaten the Colts, beaten the Browns. And just like the Colts did, well, you start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 1. But you losing to Baltimore, losing to Pittsburgh. So that's 9-2, 9-3, 9-4 here. 9-5. 9-6. 10-6. 10-7 for the Colts. Not the Colts, the Texans. Is that going to be enough to win the AFC South? I don't know. Titans, I think they might be a sleeper team here. They don't have a hard schedule. Their main improvements, I like their coaches. But the beginning of their schedule is not easy per se. But it does light it up. I actually haven't beaten Washington here. Beaten Detroit. And beaten Pittsburgh. I have the Titans going 8-9. It won't be a playoff team this season, but I think in a couple more seasons they can be, one of those playoff contending teams. I think they're going to be on the bubble, just above the bubble of a playoff contending team this season, and that's fine. The Jags, I don't think they're going to do that good either. Just because they had 6 good games last season doesn't mean that they're anything special. They're super inconsistent, especially at the quarterback position with Trevor Lawrence is super inconsistent. And they don't have an easy schedule. As I have them starting 1-5, 1-6, 1-8. Then you get a couple you get a winning streak going. It ends by against the Bears. I have the Jags being 7-10. Starting 1-8. You get a little winning streak here. You get another little winning streak here. It's just not enough. And they're going to be in last place of the AFC South, in my opinion. Moving on to the NFC North, to the Chicago Bears. I haven't beaten the Vikings. Beaten Philadelphia. Beaten the Jets. Beaten the Packers. Beaten the Patriots. Losing to, at this point, you're 10-0. Nope. Lose to the Lions. Beat the Dolphins. Lose to the Bills. Beat the Packers. I have you getting swept by the Lions. And I have you losing week 18. 13-4 for the Chicago Bears. Detroit. I have you losing to Buffalo. They have the easiest schedule in football, so this should be a playoff team. I actually have you guys losing to the Patriots, though. I have you guys losing to the Giants. But I have you guys sweeping the Packers 11-6 for the Lions. That should be enough to be a playoff team. The Vikings do have Kyler Murray as their starting quarterback. Lose to the Packers, but beat the Dolphins. Lose to the Bills. Beat the Packers. Lose to the Patriots. Lose to Washington. And beat the Jets. 8-9 for the Vikings. Packers, Micah Parsons is not playing for the first half of the season. And I do not believe in Jordan Love. So, I do have you beating Buffalo. 7-10 for the Packers. Actually, I'm going to have you lose to the Cowboys. 6-11 for the Packers. Moving on to the AFC North. To Baltimore. If Lamar is healthy, this is going to be one of the better teams of football. You beat Baltimore. You beat the Browns. You beat the Bengals, but you do lose to Buffalo. You do lose to Pittsburgh. You do lose to the Browns. I might beat the Browns. You beat Pittsburgh owns you. You lose to the Bengals. And you lose to the Steelers. 11-6 for Baltimore. Bengals, I think, is one of the most overhyped teams in this offseason. I don't think Joe Burrow is a top 5 quarterback. And I think he's a top 10 quarterback, which is still good. I think he is the most overhyped quarterback in NFL history. I actually have you guys losing to the Dolphins. I have you beating the Steelers by splitting with them, beating Washington. Beating the Browns, losing to the Browns. 9-8. Steelers. I have you guys lose to the Patriots. Lose to the Browns. Beat the Browns. Lose in the Battle of Pennsylvania. I must have skipped. I forgot to do the Broncos. Lose to the Broncos. 7-10 for the Steelers. Let's do the Broncos now. Beat the Dolphins. Beat the Jets. Lose to Buffalo. And beat the Patriots. 14-3. And now we got the Cleveland Browns, who traded one of the best defensive players of the best defensive player in the league. One of the best defensive players in this league's history. And you go 5-12. NFC East, Washington. I view losing to Philadelphia starting 0-1, but beating Dallas, beating the Giants, beating Philadelphia coming off your bye. As I have you guys losing to the Giants and losing to Dallas going 9-8. I think this team will be a good team if Jaden Daniels can stay healthy. 9-8 is a good record for this team. So on paper is supposed to be this good. Going to the Giants. I have you guys starting 1-0. I have you guys losing to Philadelphia. I have you guys beating Dallas. Splitting Dallas, losing to Philadelphia. Again, 9-8. Dallas. I have you guys losing to Philadelphia. Again, 9-8. Philadelphia. 13-4. AFC East. Let's go from the bottom to the top. The Jets lose to the Patriots. Lose to the Dolphins. Lose to the Bills. Lose to the Dolphins again. Actually, I love you guys split the Dolphins. Lose to the Patriots. Lose to the Bills. 2-14-1. The Dolphins. Lose to the Patriots. Lose to the Bills. Lose to the Bills. Lose to the Patriots. 4-13. The Patriots. I actually got tickets to the Bills game at Foxborough. This game, week 13, to Haywatch the Patriots and AJ Brown. I have the Bills winning as well, obviously. I'm not going to go Haywatch to predict for team I'm hate watching to lose 10-7. I actually have them splitting with the Bills. So 11-6. Bills 13-4. All right, let's do the playoffs. Starting the AFC wildcard round, 4-seed Colts versus 5-seed Patriots. I got the 5-seed Patriots. Unfortunately. 3-seed Baltimore versus 6-seed Texans. I got Baltimore. 2-seed Bills versus 7-seed Bengals. I got the Bills. And then the NFC, we got 4-seed Carolina versus 5-seed Seattle. Give me Seattle. 2-seed Bears versus 7-seed Washington. Give me the Bears. 3-seed Philadelphia versus 6-seed Detroit. Give me Philly. AC divisional round, we got 2-seed Bills versus Baltimore. Again, give me Buffalo. Again. Give me the Broncos over the Patriots because Bo Nix will be healthy this time. And then the NFC division round, you got LA and Seattle. Give me LA. Philadelphia and Chicago. Give me Philadelphia off a double doink. Broncos over Bills. LA over Philadelphia. And LA over Denver. All right, these are my predictions. Peace.